Hello, and welcome to the What You Want Wants You online webinar. I'm so excited to host this webinar for you today because I am so passionate about this topic. This is going to be a 5-step process that I'm going to be breaking down for you, all about manifesting your dream life. So I'll just quickly talk about myself. My name is Terry. I'm a business and a spiritual life coach. I just got certified this week, actually, yeah, on Monday for my spiritual life coach certification. I've also been teaching a course in miracles at Unity Spiritual Center. I absolutely love the text. So that's going to be a lot of where my inspiration comes from. And of course, God. So let's dive into these 5 steps. I'm going to do this on my little handy dandy whiteboard today. Self-love. Self-love is the very first step. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. All right. So what's so important about self-love? And the thing about self-love, it says to love thyself is to know thyself. So when you realize that you are love, then it's all really about embodying. So I just sent out an email to all of you that are here or watching the replay, because it's really about embodying everything you want. It's not even so much wanting. I know I said wanting is kind of like a fun catchphrase, what you want wants you, but really it's about having, embodying, knowing. So that's really what we're going to talk about now, is really getting in alignment. So we're not so much hustling and doing, we're just allowing, receiving, and being. So it's a beautiful way of doing life, doing business, being able to attract the most beautiful things into your life. And you're attracting it not because it's lacking already, but because you are removing the blocks that are just blocking the presence of it already being here now. So we'll talk more about the blocks that are already in the way for you, and all of us, right? If you want to start a business, which most of you here are lady entrepreneurs, because my business is the Lady Entrepreneur Society, and I attract a lot of people that are coaches, healers, authors, course creators, a lot of spiritual ladies that are doing work to really impact the world. I'm a very purpose-driven entrepreneur, and that's the kind of people that I attract and who I want to be around and surround myself with, because that's, we're all here for a purpose, and we all have a unique gift that we are here to give the world. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So if that's you, you are in the right place. Okay, so let's dive into the first step, self-love. So what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to, if you have your phone with you or you have a mirror handy, I want you to practice this every day, saying that you love yourself. So I went to this breakthrough retreat. So I feel like I've really manifested, like, so just everything I wanted in my life. Is just so grateful for where I am. So I recently, now it's been about 10, 11 months. I've been with my boyfriend, and he's just the most like wonderful man I would have ever even imagined for myself. Like I couldn't even imagine this. Like this was definitely God and God's grace. But I went to this breakthrough weekend 1 week before I met him, and it was all about self-love. So when you fill yourself up with love and knowing yourself, so I really talk about this a lot, but in truth, our true self is spirit. So when you know yourself and you know that you are, basically, we are one with God. So you are that God creator, one with God and one with everyone. And so Course in Miracles, I'm going to do a lot of references from the Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles says that you are the only one. So you are the one child of God. We seem to be many. And so the Course in Miracles says that we are like split off. The ego split off into a million different parts. And then we'll also go into step 2. This is about forgiveness. But with that self-love and knowing yourself, the truth of who we are is spirit, one with God, one with everything. And our spirit is pure love, pure joy, and pure peace. And in wholeness, there is no lack. So that's the beauty of knowing yourself, is you don't need anything. So we don't even need to want for anything. I know this webinar is what you want wants you, but really there's no need for wanting. It's just really being in the energetic frequency and the alignment of knowing and having, because we really do have everything we possibly could want and more when we remove all the blocks. And I'm going to do this meditation when we get to our 3rd step on being present. And that's through Gary Renard in his book. I'm not exactly sure which book it is. It's either Love Has Forgotten No One or The Lifetime When Jesus and Buddha Were Friends. So it's one of those two books, but a great meditation where it really talks about, bringing and being the light, and, letting that be all encompassing. So we'll do that when we get to the third step. But this is really all about knowing yourself. And so I would be so curious on, anyone that's here catching the replay, what is like your definition of self? How do you self-identify? Because how you see the world is how you're going to show up in the world, how you're going to perceive the world. So really everyone is just a mirror projection of us. Since we're all one, we're projecting all the time. And whatever we believe is what we're going to see. So it's so interesting. I'll mention this. I mentioned this before, but when I first got my red Mini Cooper, and now I'm looking into new cars, really excited about that. But I got a Mini Cooper, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's driving Mini Coopers all of a sudden. And it's definitely not all of a sudden, that's just where my focus is going, right? So whatever you focus on, whatever you believe, whatever, that's what you're going to see in your reality. So Einstein says the most important question we can ask is, do I live in a friendly universe? So if you believe we're living in a friendly universe, you're going to start seeing the friendly, the good, the beautiful all around you. And that's what you're going to attract. And that's just how your life is going to be. So, there's always good and bad. There's all these universal laws that I love, just diving into, talking about, because in the world that we're living in, there's contrast, right? So that was self-love. I don't want to take too much time on the first one, but that is just so, so, so important. Knowing that like you are love, and it's just the most important thing. So you are worthy of anything you could possibly want and desire. You are capable of everything you want and desire. And you're definitely guided because of who you are, and because of just that love that you are with God. So God created you to love and to be love and extend in love. So that is the essence of ourself. So yeah, just really sit with that and know that. Okay, and step 2, this is a huge, huge one for having the life of our dreams that we really want, because it's all here. So even in the quantum physics, I love learning quantum physics and spirituality, because really it's so much intertwined. So Einstein, I think it's Einstein, says, match the frequency of the reality you want, you cannot help but get that reality. It's not philosophy, it's physics. And then he says that past, present, and future are all like the same, all happening, kind of like a holographic time. The Course in Miracles would say the holy instant. So it's all happening. So we need to step into that reality by matching that frequency. And that'll be in step 4 that I'll talk about that. But that's really what it's all about is, so you can do forgiveness for anything. So I really want to talk about the limiting beliefs that are coming up for you and forgiving that, feeling like you're not worthy and you're not enough, any kind of playing small. If you were mean to yourself in the past and maybe you lied or cheated on, somebody hurt you, if you had a bad habit, I really want you to forgive that. And you're not forgiving it to condone it. I know my mom used to say, forgiveness was hard for her because she felt like she was condoning the behavior that people had done. And it's not about them. It's about you coming to peace. It's about you removing all those negative blocks, limitations, just the hatred. They say, I think this is like a Zen or Buddhist koan, that if you are not forgiving, it's like holding a lump of coal and wanting to throw it at somebody, like a burning hot lump of coal, and you're holding it and you're getting burned, and then they're over there living their life or doing whatever. So it's really not for the other person, it's really for you. And because we are one, because so knowing thyself, we are one mind. So it's so interesting. I believe God, so you could say God, divine love, source energy, infinite intelligence. I really believe it's like one mind, and it's not like boy, girl, gender, any shape or form. It's just kind of what is. So there's this thing that just says God is, and I believe that is the ultimate truth. And of course, Miracles, it says, I don't know if it's Course in Miracles or just Gary's book, but it says God is, and then you cease to speak. Like there's nothing after that. It's just all encompassing, and it's the most beautiful. So the only reason I feel like I can talk about this with so much conviction is because I had this experience of revelation. And so some people talk about revelation where they're like, say it in a small sense where it's like, oh, revelation, God loves me or something, like something, but like revelation is when you're, as I know it, as this being in the presence of God. And when it happened, I was just in my bed waking up. I'd been used to doing the Course in Miracles workbook lessons, so I kind of wake up and get into my meditative state. And so I'd woken up, and then this like just energy, just this like presence came over me, and it expanded and it just consumed my whole body to where I felt like my body had disappeared and it was formless, and I was just like limitless and boundless. And it was, yeah, the body was not even a thought or even a thing. It was just an expansive love and deep rooted peace and a joy so like just exciting that you like barely can stand it. I think Gary talks about it in the book too, but it's just so exciting. You just want to burst open into like and expand into infinity. It's just like the most beautiful feeling of love and peace and comfort and knowing. It's a deep sense of knowing all is well. Like here we are right here and right now. Everything's perfect. I need nothing. And that was it. So that was revelation as I've come to read about it, because that was like the most beautiful experience. And then so I was in that presence. I don't even know how long it was. Honestly, it could have been a minute to 30 minutes. It was just so beautiful. And then as I felt the presence just kind of like leaving me, but now I can kind of like tap into that. But I just started crying. It was just like the most beautiful experience I'd ever experienced, and at the perfect timing. Everything's always coming at the perfect timing. So I think trust is a huge part of knowing yourself, wanting to manifest your dreams. When you can trust and be fearless because you trust you're guided, supported, taken care of, you can start taking the actions that feel inspired, and trust your intuition and go with it and not play small. You can really let yourself dream big and bigger and knowing and how it's like it's yours already. So when you come from the place of it's already mine, it's a beautiful place to attract from and just embody and be. But you really have to do this forgiveness work. The forgiveness work is everything. Honestly, it's so important. So I would write down. So first thing we're doing that, do that mirror exercise. I would do it every single day. Look at yourself. I don't know if we even really went into it. So use your phone, use your phone, use your mirror, and just say, I love you. I love you. I admire you. I believe in you. I trust you. I honor you. And just look at yourself and tell yourself that and feel those feelings. Look at just the shape of your face. Look at just who you are. Like just, and then, internally, like I am, one with everything. And every part of you is so beautiful. You're uniquely made. And the most beautiful thing that I had heard was like, God is incomplete without you. And I thought that was just so beautiful because God loves us, but the truth is we never can be incomplete without God. It's impossible to separate from God. But just the thought, so that's kind of where this forgiveness comes from A Course in Miracles standpoint, is we have this deep rooted guilt from the original. So they say like the Big Bang or the Holy Instant. So we had this, so we've always been one with God. God created us out of love, extending, expanding in love forever. And nothing can impede his love. There's nothing we can do. So God is spirit, formless, and that's the truth. So we had this thought, what would it be like if we were separate from God and we went off and did our own thing? And then after that, we got really scared. That thought was just so scary that we had this deep rooted guilt, like, oh my gosh, I guess physically, because I just slapped God in the face. I just said, I don't need him. I don't want him. And then you're scared because like, oh my God, I'm on my own now. And I have to do this whole life thing without God, without, my love, without my source, without my creator. And so that's like a really sad thought when you think about like, oh my gosh. So we went into this really deep sense of guilt. And then in that deep guilt, we were trying to hide. So that this is what the Course says. I'm going off the Course, and because of that experience that I had, it feels so true to me. So, and I got this experience after studying some of Gary Renard's books and diving into A Course in Miracles, Marianne Williamson, and a lot of the Course in Miracles teachers. And you don't have to study the Course in Miracles. You could be Buddhist, Hindu, atheist, not really having a religion. It's really about the relationship that you're having to yourself and to higher power, God, divine energy, love, the universe, however feels right for you. But that's what it's all about. So the forgiveness stems from, so every time we're seeing another person, we're projecting that guilt on them. We want them to be guilty, which is a crazy thought. It's like, I wouldn't, I don't really want them to be guilty. But the thing is, like, unconsciously, we have this deep rooted guilt that we made. So it's saying that there's God and it's split off mind into the ego. And so the ego created multiple different separate parts. So it was all about being separate and having, a separate identity, and then preserving the ego through these separate bodies and through these special relationships. So if you're not familiar with Course in Miracles or some of these spiritual terms, you might seem far-fetched. I know when I first started learning it, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Even the very first lesson in the Course in Miracles workbook says, like, nothing in this room, or, like, I don't understand anything in this room, or, what I see means nothing. So it's kind of a crazy, radical course. But once you get into it and you start learning the concepts, and not just learning them, but embodying them. That's what I really want this whole webinar to be all about, is embodying the concepts of abundance. Because abundance is our birthright, abundance is who we are. And these are the steps we need to take to just embody that. So self-love, look at yourself in the mirror, say all the things that you love about yourself. I'm a good cook. I love my family. I'm so caring. Like, just, go in on the self-love, go in on just what you absolutely love about yourself. Write it down, say it daily, look in the mirror, make a mantra. Whatever it is that you are really struggling with in self-love, then I would say that to yourself daily, write it down, because we've been on this program, our whole life of how we've been thinking. So whether, you told yourself like, oh, I can't do that, who am I to do that? Whatever it is that you're telling yourself, like, oh, I'm so ugly, I'm so fat, I'm so stupid, oh, whatever, like, change that. So opposite day that and write it down and say the new thought. So we're gonna talk about telling a new story as well when it comes to forgiveness. So we have all of these projections. And one of the things that I heard that I thought was really fascinating was someone was saying that our wounds are like calling out for someone to like match. It's almost like an attraction thing where it's like, so if you have a wound, then you're calling out for someone who's like going to wound you in that way, because that's the energetic state you're in, is wounding. So it's just really, really interesting concept that I had heard. And I was like, wow, it makes so much sense that I've learned about law of attraction and energy, where it's like, if you almost, as if you're like playing this victim role, you'll find someone that's going to victimize you, which is crazy and not right, of course, which is why it's so important to heal our wounds, really feel the power within us and embody the strength, the power, the light that is within us. And really, I feel life is like a classroom, and it's here to instrument our growth to enlightenment. So it's, in truth, Course in Miracles says this whole world happened in an instant and then was corrected. So it's kind of like past, present, future, all being present now, and then corrected. So that's why I think it's so beautiful. Like, you can forgive someone that something that happened to you, someone that did something to you from a long time ago in the past or right now, and that can like correct even your future experiences. So you don't have to go through those lessons again. Because once you learn the lesson, I mean, there's always going to be lessons, right? Until we reach that enlightened state, but that's the goal. All right. I hope you guys are enjoying this webinar. Let me know what you're getting out of it. All right. So step 1, self-love. Step 2, forgiveness. Write down everyone that you need to forgive. Write down, you forgiving yourself. And so Course in Miracles says, really, forgiving would never happen. So we never were separate from God. We never needed to feel that deep sense of guilt, that thought of separation, being alone, lost, confused, not knowing what to do, because you are supported, you're guided, you're loved, you're innocent, you are whole. So the reason that you're innocent, they're like, oh, but there's people out there doing bad things, because this was a thought of separation that never really occurred. Yeah, I know. That sounds crazy. So it's a thought of separation, but it never really occurred. Then you can forgive it. So one of the things even too is like, say you have a loved one that died. So I just did a Tuesdays with Terry episode on this, because my mom died recently, and someone was like, how are you happy? How are you balancing your life and still really like managing when your mom died? And the thing is, if I thought my mom died, that would be such a crazy concept to even try to wrap my head around or fathom, that like I wouldn't see my mom again, that she's just gone forever. Then that would be that would be really a sad concept, but it's not true. So I don't, there's no need for me to be unhappy. And also the time that I had experienced that revelation, I feel that's where she is. Like, she's experiencing that. How could I not be happy that she gets to experience that? And it's crazy. I mean, of course, I'd love to hug her, but because we can live in the holy instant, and the next third step is presence. I can go back to that moment, and I can feel her warm embrace right now. And so that's the beauty of past, present, future, all being the same, living in the holy instant, and knowing that you can never truly die. You're always connected with everyone, and that's our truth. So one of my answers also was from A Course in Miracles. It said, how can you find joy in a joyless world besides realizing that you're not there? So that's kind of the answer that I gave for this instance. So how could I, be okay with my mom dying, except knowing that she didn't die? Like, that's the only way I could be okay with it. And that's how I am okay with it. Because, and the craziest thing, it always, like, hindsight's 2020. When I was doing Course in Miracles study group, one of the ladies, like, she had a friend that was passing away. She was older, and just her time was up. But yes, always God's timing. So she was so sad, and so sad for the other lady. And I was saying, this is probably like over a year now, probably 2 years ago. And I was saying, when it's my turn to go, please don't be sad for me. Like, it'll be all good, because this is when I had the revelation experience, and I was like, I'm like honestly excited for when that happens, and that gets to be my eternal state always, which I know it is in truth, but right now I'm experiencing this like linear form of time, because I have to like undo that unconscious guilt, undo the ego, and remove all these blocks from my ultimate abundant, enlightened self. And so it's a process for everyone, that's here in the physical, or else you wouldn't be here in the physical anymore. Like, once you've already transcended everything. I mean, unless you're coming here to teach. But a lot of times, they said in Course in Miracles or Gary Renard's books that sometimes you're teaching through just being, just being who you are, not necessarily even a teacher. But I love to teach it because I just love seeing people happy. I love spreading the good news. Actually, I got Most Likely to Brighten Your Day in the senior yearbook polls. That was kind of fun. Because that's really, I get so much joy from bringing joy to other people and seeing other people happy. So that's also why I'm doing this webinar for you today. So write down everything you need to forgive and tell a new story. So really, forgiving everything for never happening, that's kind of like, a deep dive. They're not really used to that. So you could just say, that's made me the person who I am today. That's made me stronger. That's made me, be an example for others who need me. Really, our stories, we can stand on top of our stories, not stand in our stories. And we can use it to make us better and stronger and inspire and impact others that, that are needing us, that are needing the light, that need, your experience and your strength to show them that they can overcome it and be better, and life gets better as well. So I definitely had some forgiveness lessons in my life. I'm sure everyone has, no matter everyone has it, even if you grew up rich or it's because of that unconscious guilt. Like, we're always projecting, and we're always like having this like not good enough experiences I've had was just being younger. One of the first ones I can really remember is with my stepsisters. And I was so excited to get to see, have stepsisters, and then it ended up being this whole Cinderella story. I was just so nice. My mom was like the most kindest person that was walking the earth. I guess after Mother Teresa, but she just so sweet. And so I was so sweet, and I always I was so excited to have sisters, and I would do all this stuff for them, and what can I do, and how can, and then they really took it for granted. And then if I didn't do it, then it was like, oh, now we're going to tell on you, and now we're going to break this and frame you, or so then it just became this like horrific story. But now I just tell a new story, and I can empower other people who were bullied when they were younger and show them that you don't have to keep living that way. So I lived that way for a while. And then that brought my self-esteem so far down that I actually had a plan to end my life because I just thought I was a problem to everyone. So this is like, yeah, me wanting to like, make everyone else happy. So I thought I was a problem to everyone because I'm like, why else would I get bullied so bad? So yeah, my dad had passed through the hallway one time or he had been in his room and I was passing through the hallway going to the bathroom. I was about 8 years old, closed the door, and then he had a gun. He works in like law enforcement. So yeah, so then he closed the door, and then the next day I told my friend I have a brilliant plan. My dad's not going to be home till late because he's always working, wanting to provide for us. So that's a new story that I need to tell. So when I was younger, I just thought he didn't love me because he wasn't around. But now I know that he loved me so much that he wanted to give me everything. Only set the intention for what you want, but we'll do this meditation where we realize that we have what we want. And it's really about just embodying the feelings and trusting and being guided. So then my best friend told her dad, then we ended up not, but that was that deep feeling. It was like, of not feeling enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling like I mattered. And so, yeah, I don't know if it was just like, they were picking up that energy, we're so young. I mean, who really knows at that time? But yeah, then that's how the story had played out, but I'm choosing to see it differently. And so that's what A Course in Miracles says, always choosing to see things differently, because everything is really a learning opportunity. There's this lady, Vicki Thomas, who's a Course in Miracles teacher. She has a little bell that she wears like around her neck. And every time she feels faced with a challenge or, something seems like, it's getting her upset, she rings the bell in excitement because she's like, this is a forgiveness opportunity. And every forgiveness opportunity is a lesson learned to get closer to, that enlightened state of being. So that's a nice way of shifting the perspective on forgiveness. Okay. So the third thing is presence. And so presence, or being present, is being in the now moment, because really the now moment is all we have forever in eternity. It's always just now. The past is gone, the future hasn't happened, it's always now. So you always want to center and ground yourself into this present moment. All right, so I do want to do a little meditation with you, but I want to just talk a little bit more about the present moment. I have some notes here, or I stopped writing down what we're talking about. So the third thing, I'll write on my handy dandy present. Hope it's reading the right way. Being present. Very high tech today. So being present is so important because that's how we can really get connected with the truth of who we are. And that's when we can listen for the guidance, is when we're really just still, quieting our mind. If thoughts come and go, just let them, and then just focus on your breath and focus on the connection. I guess I can get into meditation right now since I just feel like that's where it's leading me. Okay, so close your eyes. You're gonna put your hands in the receiving mode on your legs. And just take a couple deep breaths, breathing in through your nose. Hold for a second at the top and exhale. And roll your eyes in and up as if you're looking out of your third eye. Keep breathing. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, relax your stomach. And focus on your breath. And as you are breathing, I want you to imagine a beautiful, pristine, bright light. There's a beautiful, bright light. It's coming to you. This light is warm and beautiful. And you notice as this light is coming towards you that there's an altar. And on this altar, you place all of your wants and your desires. And in this all-encompassing bright light, you are just taken over by the warmth of the light. And you see your altar of desires and wants go into the light. And for a second, you feel as if you've lost something. And as this beautiful light just takes you into it, you become one with it and one with everything. Everything you've ever wanted that you couldn't even imagine possible. Everyone you've ever loved, past and present, they're all here with you. You feel a sense of love so deep, so expansive, and a peace so calming. Your joy is so great, you can barely stand it. In this moment, all is well. All is perfect, and you're whole. Feel into that moment. Feel into having everything you could ever want and more. Beyond your wildest dreams and desires, it's all yours. For the asking, for the receiving, for the having, for the creating. Just breathe into that knowing, trusting this is your truth. Being in that love and that connection with God. All right, when you're ready, open your eyes. I feel like everything gets a little bit brighter and clearer. It makes more sense after a meditation. So that altar example in meditation, it's like we have all these wants and all these desires, but really when you're wanting something, it means you don't have it. So the wanting energy is different than the having energy. So you want to just have and embody now, knowing it's yours now. So that having, so that oneness, that wholeness, that abundance, when you can feel that feeling now and remove all the blocks from thinking that you're not worthy of having it or being it and embodying that, then that's the only thing you need to work on is forgiving that, letting that go, and being in that fullness, that wholeness, that light presence. That is you. Okay, so that was the third one, was presence. And then the fourth step to the process of manifesting your dream life is clarity. I want you to get clear on the feelings that you want to embody. So, we have these wants and have these desires, but now we know that we have everything. So that's where it's like what you want wants you. Really, because it's already happened. It's already there. It's already there in the ether of the quantum physics world, of just the wholeness of God. But yeah, it's just removing the blocks. But how do you want to feel? Because feeling is the secret when it comes to really having what you want in your life. So the next step is attraction. And that has like two parts to it, so where it's attracting and then action. But it's not the doing forceful action. It's really the like inspired action, where you're guided, led, and in flow state. So so first is clarity on how you want to feel. So what you want to have, of course, but the reason we want to have things is because it'll make us feel a certain way. So do you want to feel happier? Do you want to feel more loved? Do you want to feel whatever it is? So I know before I attracted my boyfriend into my life, I was just immersed with self-love. Like I knew I was love, and I just emitted love. I loved myself so deeply. Before, I had a lot of lack, limiting belief, low confidence vibes. And so then I really just came into this embodying of love. I walked with love, I emitted love, I showed love. A Course in Miracles says, you get what you give. So the world's sense is, it feels like when you give it, you lack it, right? But it says when you give it, you get it in the Course of Miracles, and just in a spiritual sense, especially because when you know we're all one, you're really just giving to yourself, and you're giving to the abundance. You're just letting it flow. So it's really important for the flow state and what you're wanting. So yeah, what do you want to feel? Do you want to feel loved? Then you want to give love and be love and embody love. And you can have it all. I don't believe there's any limits that you need to put on yourself. God has no limits, no bounds. You can really quantum leap when you can step into this person faster. So I would love to hear what limiting beliefs are coming up for you. That would be really awesome to just kind of understand what are the limiting beliefs that are blocking you from your abundance. Any limiting belief is a lie, really. Yeah, you need to see it, you need to understand it, bring those shadows to the light, bring all that darkness that's in the closet, bring it to the light, open the doors, open the windows, let the light shine on it. So yeah, so what is it that you want to feel? And maybe, yeah, it's freedoms. You want to start a business because you want more freedom. So feel that freedom now with wherever you are, with whatever you're doing. Maybe you want to feel I don't know, like the adventure, the new experiences with travel. So feel that now. And the more, since, we're living in this mind body, use your mind, and then let that creative power within you create with you. And so the tools I love to use are just really getting clear on visualizing what you want. And God wants everything for you. God's giving you the kingdom already. So get really clear on what you want to feel. So really the feeling is the secret, but also having that mental picture, because we're in this body that has the subconscious mind, and we're able to use our imagination to create. So anything you see in your mind, then you'll be able to see it in your life if you hold the vision, hold the faith, hold the belief, and the knowing. And so really think from the end here. So what is it that you want? So say, yeah, so for me, I really want to remodel my house. I know I want an open floor concept. I need to pick out the couches I want. I need to visualize that before I can get it. So I've been doing a lot of vision boarding around the house that I want, and also the impact I want to be making on other people's lives. One of them is a book. So I made a post earlier about just a book cover that I really want to bring out into the world. And so divine timing, I'm allowing myself to be guided. You don't want to force. I love Abraham Hicks. They say, Esther and Abraham. So they say, don't paddle upstream, just go with the flow. But you do want to have some kind of vision and plan. We're in this material world. If we want to, have material things, you really in truth need nothing, but we're here. Why not experience, life, to its fullest? And the biggest thing that I really want to say is to be unattached. So that's really where that altar of letting go came from. Being unattached. Have your desires, have your dreams, but be unattached to it. And so, yeah, I wouldn't even say desiring and wanting feels like you don't have it. Just live in that state, live in that it's already mine, walk with that confidence. So if you had that successful business, you want that 6-figure, 7-figure business, how does that person act? Do they come live? Do they do webinars? Are they reaching out to people, through DM? Are they making the phone calls? What are they doing? And so success leaves clues. You can, get a coach, follow a coach. I do business and spiritual life coaching, but find someone that's done it, that's been able to live out their dream life, to get the clients, make the impact, whatever it is that you really want to do, then do that and follow, just follow that way, but let yourself be guided. So in A Course in Miracles, it does say to, you need do nothing but follow the inspired action, and then not to do anything by yourself. So constantly ask and check in with yourself and with spirit, should I be doing this now? Or what should I do? So sometimes it's go for a walk, clear your mind. Maybe there's someone on your path that you'll talk to that will give you that inspired idea, or there's someone that needed your help in that moment. And so follow the intuition, but have a plan. Like if you need some kind of GPS to where you want to go, but don't let yourself be so attached to that's the only way, because maybe God has a different way, a bigger way. You don't really need to plan, like in the sense of like, how exactly is this going to happen? You let yourself be guided, but you have the vision. Like, I'd love to have this kind of house, this kind of car, this kind of impact, make a book, start a charity, a nonprofit, build houses in in third world countries, like have clean water, whatever it is, like, have that vision of what would really bring you the most joy. It's so important to follow your bliss, because that's where the magic is. That's where the miracle is just, doing what lights you up. Your desires are put on your heart for a reason. Nothing is by incident. So of course, Miracle says like everything happened in the holy instant. So really, we're just like living out what already has happened. But I do believe in like the quantum physics and the different dimensions and parallel realities, and it all kind of happening now, and we get to step into that. But really, it's all happened. So it's all happened, and now we get to step into it. Which life, which ideal person do you want to step into now, and then act in the part. So what kind of nutrition do you have? Who are your friends? What experiences do you get to experience? What does your living situation look like? Having that desire, but being unattached to it, because that attachment energy is like very restricting, and like you're not gonna get what you want from that. Or if you have that attachment, like just like strangling kind of like energy on it, then that's how you're going to experience it when you do have it. So whatever energy you bring to it is energy that you're going to get out of it. So making sure that you are in just a relax, eat. That's how I like to live my life. I think most of you probably do too, because I know you're a lot of like spiritual entrepreneurs. You're not like, oh, I need to hustle to feel like doing something. Like it's really like, let myself be led and guided, and let things be easy, and let me make a huge difference and do what I love and live abundantly through that. The experiences that I want, the philanthropic efforts that I want, the material things I want, the relationships I want, it's safe to have it all because of who you are. You are worthy, you are enough, you are loved. It's all yours. Now you just get to be open to receiving. So that's a huge thing, is being open to receive. And just start with the little things. I mean, do you turn down coffee or dinner from somebody? Like just receive, and ask and you shall receive. Ask for what you want. If you don't ask, closed mouth doesn't get fed. You really want to be in the energy of having and not wanting. It's really, about embodying the having energy. Like it's mine, knowing it's mine, walking in it's mine, acting in it's mine. Keep having the faith no matter what. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. And then you'll see it show up in your reality. Okay, and then there's two parts to this. I used to teach a business class, like co-taught it with an engineering professor. It was all like about prototyping. So I like whiteboarding and teaching that way. But attraction. So there's two parts. So attract and action. So I'm really big on, being the person will attract it to you. And not only attract what you want to you, because it's not about sitting there and letting it come to you. It's really about acting on. So if you are the person, how do you act? You'll attract by acting in the way that the person who already has it acts. And it's really about, balancing that masculine and feminine of attracting and acting. That's like the law of attraction. And then the attraction principle is really like vibrating it through who you are in that state of being. So faith without works is dead. So definitely keep the faith, but then, do those inspired action steps and know and have faith that it will come. Everything comes as it should, when it should. And if something's not happening, I was listening to Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. She has the book Believe It. She does this like Monday motivation, like book club for her book. She was so happy that she got rejected like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, because at the time she would have just settled. So if somebody were to accept, so she got $1 billion from L'Oreal, like just $1 billion. And she's the most humble, sweet person, which is why I love her so much. So she got $1 billion from L'Oreal, and she had gone to them. She went to L'Oreal, Sephora, QVC. She just got shut down. And a lot of it was because they told her like, your look is not the beauty look that we want in our stores, which is horrible. But that was her whole mission. So she was like, well, why am I, even getting upset? Because like, and, thinking that they're going to agree with me when my whole mission is to, change their belief. And so, they're not going to agree with me right away, but she was determined. She had the mission, she very close to God, and she felt that, this was the calling on her heart to do this. And she made it happen. But she was so happy that she got rejected in the beginning, because she probably would have settled for just like $100,000 deal just to clear the debt. So she made $1 billion, and it took everything it took to get to where she was. She kept trusting and hoping and having faith, and just knew divine timing. And then she got like the ultimate result that was just beyond her imagination. And yeah, that's a beautiful story. There's also this book, The Four Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. And so it's all, about tithing, forgiving, just having a plan. Even though you need a plan, I don't believe, have a vision, but you don't need like the how to plan exactly, like have a general kind of what you want to do, but then follow that inspired action. Yeah, she was saying that she wanted this retreat center, and in the retreat center that she wanted, like the deed didn't go through, it just, all these things were happening, and so it didn't work until she was like, instead of feeling sad, she's just like, all right, there's another, something better for me. So she just went for a drive, just to clear her mind. And then on her way on the drive, she saw for sale sign for this lot that was beyond her her wildest dreams. Like, and that was the lot that she had for her retreat center. So that's kind of how things happen, and like, so if you let yourself get down about something, then you're in that low vibe, low energetic frequency, and you're not being an open channel for receiving when you're in that low vibe state. So you really want to just be an open channel for receiving, trusting, knowing you're guided. And then that's where, yeah, you can just expect miracles, know miracles are happening. Man's rejection is God's protection. So just trust and know that. And you're guided and you're supported. Like, think about all, just being in a state of gratitude, have an attitude of gratitude, and you'll go so far. All right. So I think those are basically all of the things that I wanted to talk about. And yeah, let yourself dream big, like have that billionaire vision. Why not? But faith without works is dead. So you definitely have to put in the work, follow the action, and serve more. So it's really about service. So there's law of cause and effect. So it's like, whatever the cause is, the service, then the effect will be, the compensation in return. So yeah, being of service, leaving everyone with the impression of increase. Just going that extra mile, and helping people, and really you get what you give. That's a huge thing in the Course in Miracles. So change the story around any limiting belief, lack belief that is in your mind. Forgive anyone that had, hurt you in the past, so you can free space, free your mental space, free your physical space, and make space for all the good, make space for the abundance to come in, because it's there waiting for you, wanting you back, right? Okay, so that's it for the 5 steps. We had self-love, forgiveness, being present, clarity, and attraction. These are the formula for an abundant life. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I did want to let you know that I'm offering some breakthrough sessions. I've opened up my calendar over the next 2 weeks. So these breakthrough sessions, they are normally $497 for the normal breakthrough session. And what it includes is a 90-minute session with me. You'll get 7 days of email and WhatsApp support via text or voice note. We'll go back and forth. You can tell me whatever you're working on. But these breakthrough sessions are powerful. Like, we're going through like a life plan, basically, of what you want in your life, what's stopping you, where you are now, where you want to be, and then really how we can make that happen. And then you have those 7 days with me to dig into each one of the areas of your life. And I'm very knowledgeable, very skilled on the mind, on the body, on, just death, relationships, life, spirituality, nutrition. So I really have a lot of knowledge, but what my focus is, and I love to work with people with, is really creating out their ideal dream life and business. So most of the people I work with are entrepreneurs. They desire that freedom lifestyle. So yeah, really just embodying that freedom now, where it's like, instead of working all day, take a break. Like, why do you want the freedom to go for a walk in the middle of the day, to go to a yoga class, to have lunch with your friend? Do that now and enjoy that now. So I love helping people, get clear on where are you now? Where do you want to be? Yeah, because I was a business professor, I can really break down the steps for you. If you do have a business idea in mind that you really want to bring out into the world, then I can, break that down for you, give you clarity on your mission, vision, why, who you're helping, what results you're getting them, the best ways that you can go about creating a program, to sign them up. So most of the work I do is with service providers. So courses, course creators, authors, spiritual healers, teachers. I have worked with people that are, in the product business as well, network marketers. So yeah, I would love to just talk to you, do a 90-minute breakthrough session. And I did want to mention that on this webinar, I'm giving $200 off. So you're getting the 90-minute session plus the 7 days of email support, and you get a recording of the webinar. Everyone can get a recording of this webinar. You're probably watching this on the recording, but you'll get a recording of the breakthrough session with me in that 7 days email support. And then if you love what we talked about and you want to dive deeper, I'm going to be opening up 3 spots for one-on-one coaching with me over this next quarter. I do 3 and 6 month coaching packages. So if you do the breakthrough session, then that $297 will be applied to your first payment. We're taking this breakthrough session on. So that's nice. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about. So it's been an honor and a privilege to be here with you, sharing these concepts. I've loved just doing my own study to prepare for this, to dive deeper. And yeah, please send me any questions. And if you want to do the breakthrough session, I'll have the link below so you can sign up for that. Awesome. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.